Guys, what's going on? James here, and welcome back to yet another video where I break down the positions of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If you're new and you enjoy the content, go ahead and subscribe if you're a Bucs fan. So without further ado, let's get started with the defensive tackles. Now, I'm counting 6 defensive tackles currently on the Buccaneers roster under contract, and they go as follows. Gerald McCoy, Bo Allen, Devontae Lambert, Stevie T, Tui Kolovatu is his last name, but I don't feel like pronouncing it that much today. Mitch Unrein, as well as Vita Vea. So Vita Vea being the former first-round pick that the Buccaneers took with the 12th overall pick. So let's start by talking about Devontae Lambert, a guy who's been moving around from defensive end to defensive tackle a handful of times now since he's been with the Bucs. He's actually stuck on for a couple of years. Fair play to him. Obviously, with the deep defensive tackle room that it is now, how deep we are at the position, it's going to be hard for him to maybe make the roster. You want to think that the Bucs carry 4 defensive tackles, so maybe he'll end up on the practice squad. Maybe he'll end up as a backup defensive end. Who knows? I just kind of have him slotted here as defensive tackle. However, he could figure into being a backup defensive end as well, but, you know, you never know. He could surprise some people. He certainly has been able to stick around for a couple of years, so fair credit to him. Maybe they like some stuff about him, and who knows, maybe he does make the roster in some capacity. Moving on next to Stevie T, former 7th round pick. Again, he's kind of in the same boat as Lambert, obviously not as bad because he is a former draft pick of Jason Licht's, but obviously you have guys like Bo Allen, you have guys like Mitch Unrein, and Gerald McCoy, and especially now Vita Vea, who kind of is taking over, who's basically a vastly better Stevie T in my opinion. It's going to be hard for him to make the roster. I do like Stevie T. I think he's a phenomenal run stopper, and I think he is a guy who could potentially end up on the Bucs practice squad, and he should if he can, and he doesn't get signed away to another team. However, I feel that if we do release him, he probably will end up going to another team, and I think he would do relatively well. He's a big man. I could see him going to a team, maybe the Patriots. I don't know. I always love how I say that anytime somebody gets released by the Bucs, they'll end up on the Patriots, but that just seems like how it works sometimes. But, you know, maybe a team like the Broncos, you know, somebody who runs a 3-4 could use Stevie T in a very good way. And I think that he would be pretty productive there. He's a big lad. He's a big lad. But moving on now to the first of a couple of changes that the Bucs had at defensive tackle. Gone are Chris Baker and Clinton McDonald. Chris Baker I am happy about. I don't know if you guys saw, but Chris Baker was, I believe, at the Capitals game recently versus the Lightning, and the Lightning are down 2-0. I know we're not going to talk about hockey here, but Chris Baker was... I hate Chris Baker. He is literally the worst kind of human being. He's just a douche. He's a douche. I don't like Chris Baker. Anyway, it's not the point. We're going to be talking, you know, and Clint McDonald's gone, as is Chris Baker, and in now is one of the first guys, Mitch Unrein, the former 3-4 defensive end for the Chicago Bears. The Bucs have him listed at defensive tackle. He was one of the top run-stopping guys last year, just run-stopping defensive linemen, which is pretty impressive in my opinion. He was actually up there with another Buccaneers defensive tackle, which I will get to in a bit. But Mitch Unrein, whenever we signed him, a lot of people were like, okay, he's going to be our defensive tackle addition. He's going to be that guy next to Gerald McCoy. And then we did some other stuff. And it was like, well, wait a minute, what? What's going on here, Mitch Unrein and other people that we signed? What? You know, why are they being rotational guys? I think we're paying Unrein somewhere around $3 million a season, and I like the move. I still think it's a productive move in my opinion, because it just proves that depth, and a lot of Bears fans came to me in the comment section whenever I did make a video talking about the Unrein signing, saying, you guys got a very underrated player, like, we're really sad to see him go. And it's like, okay, if Bears fans are admitting that Unrein was pretty good, I'm willing to give him a pretty solid, I'm willing to put a lot of my faith into him as well as the other guys. So, you know, pretty clutch signing, Mitch Unrein. Then moving on to the next signing that the Buccaneers made, and this one was definitely more like, okay, this guy is the number 2 guy next to Gerald McCoy. It is Bo Allen. Again, another one of the top run-stopping defensive linemen last year, playing on the former Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. And for Unrein and for Bo Allen, one of their big strengths, I guess you could say, is creating pass rushing opportunities. And the Eagles, same thing. I had a lot of Eagles fans coming to me saying, crap, we wanted Mitch Unrein, or we wanted Bo Allen. You guys got a really underrated player. He's great. Stuff like that. So with Unrein and Bo Allen, obviously they're not going to be that number two to Gerald McCoy. We will get to the number two next to Gerald McCoy, but you're going to figure that they are going to be in that rotation. I think the Bucs are going to go. Obviously, the Bucs are going to rotate people. I don't like it, but it's going to happen. I can't avoid it. You can't avoid it. None of us can avoid it. Mike Smith will have his way in the end, I guess, but he likes to rotate defensive linemen, and now he's got a pretty deep rotation, at least at the defensive tackle position. At the defensive end position, I don't think it's as deep there. I don't think it's as deep. This defensive tackle rotation is going to be pretty good, in my opinion, especially now with Bo Allen and Mitch Unrein. Those two guys are going to factor in, and their jobs are going to be to create more opportunities for guys like Gerald McCoy and for guys like Vinny Curry and for guys like Jason Pierre-Paul and Noah Spence. They're going to be those big bodies that are taking off some of the double team moves, and a lot of Bucs fans like to say, like, who are you going to double team now? And who knows at this point. I don't mean to get, I think one comment I saw said, like, oh, well, don't get too hype because you never know. You never know. But still, I mean, like, I'm not too hype. I'm just saying, like, on paper, it looks pretty good. I'm not going to say we're going to win the Super Bowl or go to the playoffs or anything, but we have a better defensive line than we did last year. I think that is a fact. So, moving on from Bo Allen and Mitch Unrein, I went on a very long rant there. We have first round pick, number 12 overall pick, Vita Vea. Vita Vea. I almost said Stevie T again. What's wrong with me? Vita Vea. Now, Vita Vea, obviously, with Bucs had pick number 7 in the NFL draft. We traded back with the Buffalo Bills, acquired 2 second-round picks, which will be featured in a later video. And then we went ahead and got Vita Vea with pick number 12. According to Jason Light, Vita Vea was number 4 on their board, which I like. That's very interesting to me. Vita Vea was number 4, so you got to think in fans' minds, like, okay, Quentin Nelson, Bradley Chubb, Saquon Barkley were all the 3 guys before Vita Vea in terms of their top of the board. And I remember Jason Light said, like, well, if we couldn't have gotten Vita Vea, we were worried we weren't going to get him at 12, but if we didn't, we had a couple of guys we were okay with taking. I couldn't tell you who those guys were, if I'm being honest. But Vita Vea was acquired with pick number 12 in a trade back for the Bucs, and the guy's 347 pounds, 6'4", I believe, ran a 40-yard dash in 5.1 seconds. Let me say that again. He's 6'4". Okay, that's pretty tall. It's pretty tall. I'm like 6'1", 6'2". He's taller than me. 347 pounds. That's more than twice my weight. I think it's like twice my weight. I think I weigh 165, 170 pounds. And he ran 40 yards in 5.1 seconds. Oh, I mean, like that. Everybody who analyzed the Vita Vea, who was analyzing Vita Vea, was like, there's no question about his on-field play. The dude is a disruptor. He moves the line. He creates opportunities. He's just a monster. He's a freak. He used to play running back in high school. Like, Vita Vea isn't human, I'm convinced. He is a island monster. So, when talking about Vita Vea, he's the guy. He's got to be the guy. Number 2 next to Gerald McCoy. At least you think so. I don't know if Vita Vea is going to be getting a lot of sacks this season, but I feel that he will definitely have the opportunity to do so. It's definitely an improved rotation. Obviously, you're going to be seeing a lot of guys rotating in with Vea, with Mitch Unrein rotating in, Bo Allen rotating in, and obviously Gerald McCoy is probably going to be the one guy who's going to be out there the longest. So it's going to be a 3-man rotation. I think that's going to work best for Vea. I think I'm saying that right, Vita Vea. I think it's going to work best for him because it's going to take a lot of pressure off of him as a rookie, and I think Mike Smith's finally getting what he wanted in the end. So, I think the rookie probably, I don't know if he'll have stellar numbers, but I think he will definitely make a lot of noise, and he'll do things that we probably might not see all of the time during games, but, he'll be effective. I can say that. He will be effective in his rookie year. And finally, the big dog, the big man, one of my favorite Buccaneers of all time. He's up there. Gerald McCoy. I made a whole video ranting about why Gerald McCoy is like the best defender on the Buccaneers team, maybe besides Levante David. But Gerald McCoy, what is there to be said about Gerald McCoy? He has been our sack leader for like the past 5 years as a pass rushing defensive tackle, and you usually shouldn't be the top sack guy if you're a pass rushing defensive tackle, yet he still is. This might be the year that we do have a double-digit sack guy, and I know every year we talk about it, like, oh, this will be the guy to get double-digit sacks, this will be the guy. I mean, every year, Gerald McCoy, he's the closest. I mean, it's true. Every year, he is the closest to getting double-digit sacks, at least the past 6-7 years. Maybe besides 1 year with Michael Bennett. It's always been Gerald McCoy. Will this be the year that McCoy gets double sacks? Maybe. Maybe him along with a guy like Vinny Curry and JPP. Maybe they both can, and we can just all be happy. We haven't had a double-digit sack guy since Simeon Rice, I think back in 2005. I have notes on it, I'm sure. But, you know, I have a lot of faith that Gerald McCoy will just... This might be the best season of Gerald McCoy's career. He's not out of his prime just yet. I think he's just hit 30. So he's almost there, you know. This will probably be his last peak year. I mean, I'm sure if you asked Gerald McCoy, he would say like, "Oh, dude, I'm always peak." But you know, if in the eyes of the fans, age 30 is kind of where you might start to decline after age 30. So this might be Gerald McCoy's last year where he can put up really monstrous numbers. And I do think this year he has a pretty decent chance to get double-digit sacks, obviously. I think a lot of fans think that way. But he'll be as disruptive as always, and if, obviously, he hasn't suffered injuries in a while. He's only missed, he's averaging 1 missed game per the past 6 years. So if he can, you know, he's still relatively healthy, and he's still going, he's going to be Gerald McCoy, a top 5 defensive tackle in the league, as he does. You know, it's Gerald McCoy. Like, we all know what he's going to do. So really, that's what you're looking out for is Devontae Lambert and Stevie T. Can they make the roster? And if they can't make the roster, will they survive practice squad? I don't know if Stevie T would. Maybe Devontae Lambert would. But Stevie T, I could see him going to a 3-4 team and being pretty productive. Maybe he'll go to the Jets or something. Who knows? Mitch Unrein, Bo Allen, how are they going to factor into the rotation? You know, how are they going to be able to create opportunities for pass rushing guys like Gerald McCoy, like Jason Pierre-Paul, and like Vinny Curry and Noah Spence. I can't forget about Noah Spence. And then Vita Vea, his main arch for this year is going to be like, how's he going to do in his rookie year? Will he be as disruptive as he was in Washington and as many draft experts were projecting him to be? How's he going to end up doing? If you want my opinion, I think we'll be hearing some good things from the defensive tackle position this year, especially from guys like Vita Vea and probably Bo Allen, Unrein, and McCoy. I think they're all going to do fine. And, you know, with that rotation, they're going to be keeping guys fresh, and Mike Smith finally gets the defense he wants. And you know, we spent a lot of money in draft picks this year in defense. It's for Mike Smith. It's for Mike Smith, you know. It's what it's all about, and I'm hoping for good things. I don't know if good things will come, but I'm confident. I'm not blindly confident. I'm not like stupidly confident, like, oh, dude, we're gonna win a Super Bowl, but I'm confident. I'll just say that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think about the Buccaneers defensive tackle position down in the comments section below. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Let me know. And if you're new, go ahead and subscribe and like the video if you enjoy Buccaneers content, because that's what's here. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video, but until then, goodbye for now, guys. See ya.